Hey there, friends. So I just wanted to come on here and just chat with you guys a little bit because it's another one of those autism vlog chats with me because I have a lot on my mind at the moment. First of all, I have been cleaning my room, doing some organization, and as you guys can see, my bed is made. Back here, I just have my main stuff that's important to me, like my books, things like that. And over here, we kept two of the stuffies in the room, my Bluey and Scooby-Doo. And I put pretty much the rest of the stuffies out in the stuffy area. I also kept the ones that are like Christmas themed and stuff. And then we organized the rest of them out here. Show you guys this. So we have the stuffy bed right there, which has the rest of the stuffies on there. And as you can see, I have put Minnie Mouses over there. That's what I do when I don't use something, when I've decided not to use it for a little while or something, even if it's a comfort item, which my Minnie Mouses are definitely a comfort item, and they have been going with me everywhere recently. But I go through things like that where it's like, I'll take them out with me for a couple days, a few days, and then they will go into the stuffy rest area, basically, is what I'm calling that space. It's like the stuffy area. And then, you know, I will like change it up where that stuffed animal won't get used for a little while, and then it'll get picked up again. Then it'll get used, then it won't get used. It depends on my mood, guys. So like I said, stuffed animals will always be a part of my life, right? They will always be a part of the room decor. They will always be a part of just my general who I am as a person. But that does not necessarily mean that they will always be out and about being used. And I think that that's something that I have to oftentimes clarify, is that just because a stuffy is important to me, and just because I do occasionally post that, hey, this stuffy went out with me today, and this stuffy went this place with me today, and this is the stuffies that I've been carrying around for this period of time, does not necessarily mean that that stuffy is going to be with me forever being carried around, right? And that's just something that I've noticed, is there are certain like things that like are valuable and that get used and that are like sentimental items that I use on a regular basis, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing. And then there are other things that just are come and go, kind of, they get used when they get used. And there are times where they don't get used. There are times when they do get used. It really just depends on like the mood. Like another example is like my Switch, my Nook here, things like that. Like, again, there are things that get used, right? I use these on a regular. I read pretty much every day out of this. I play my video games on my Nook, on my Switch pretty much every single day. They're not necessarily always in my bag. And then there are things that kind of like live in my bag that I don't even show you guys very much to begin with, because there are things that like, my eyes are like things that I don't know why, I just don't feel comfortable sharing those things. I have shared before that I always have like a notepad or a notebook with me, a little spiral notebook or a notebook with me at all times, because I do a lot of like journaling and stuff, right? So we have this, which is my big journal, and I use this on a regular basis. As you guys can kind of tell, there is writing in it, so I do use this. But again, this is something that, like, there are days where I will carry this big thing with me, and then there are days where I have little mini notebooks that I carry with me. It just depends. So I think it's just one of those things where it's like, and there are things that like are always with me no matter where I am. There are little trinkets that go with me no matter where I am. For example, the Ninja Turtles and my little lizard, they kind of live in my bag. Another one is I always have a water bottle no matter where I go. I carry around my water bottle no matter where I go. So I have things like that. I have my cameras that will go with me some days, and then some days they won't. I have things like that that just kind of are in and out, and that's kind of the way it is with my bag. Is a lot of things are genuinely in and out, where it's like I will use it for a little while, and then I won't use it for a little while. But the thing I wanted to talk about is, if anybody here has like comfort items or things in their life that they keep, that they find comfort out of, like that don't necessarily work per se, things like that just bring you comfort, like for example, like an old phone that you no longer use, but you still keep it around because you still keep it with you because it's a familiar object, or like an iPad that maybe you once used on a regular but you no longer use, or it's no longer usable, but it's a comfort item, or like a blanket. And it can even be something like a stuffed animal that you've had for a long time that you maybe have kept in your bag, and it's worn and it's like it's frail and whatever, but you still keep it because it brings some level of comfort. Or like a notebook that you've written all your like feelings down in. The notebook is completely empty, is completely full, not empty, but it's completely full, and you have a new notebook that you've gone to, but it's like that notebook, that specific notebook, like goes with you everywhere, no matter what, and I think, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I have read that that's something that a lot of autistic people seem to do, is some of us keep things that are like, that have so much sentimental value and so are such a comfort item that like we can't go without it. Like for me, a big one is like my iPad, which is like my communication device. My devices are big for me, they're big in terms of use, in terms of comfort, in terms of me bringing them with me when I go places, and stuff. So like my Switch, my Nook, my iPad, my phone, my computer, things like that, and stuff. So there are some things that are like big comfort items that I use on a regular basis, but and stuff like that, like obviously my phone goes everywhere. I use my phone to film. I use my Nook every single day. I'm always reading something, whether it's a comic book or a book or whatever, or my iPad, which is used as a communication device, or my Switch, which I have games on that I love to play that are very big, like comfort items. But then I have like devices, a specific device that I've had for a few years now, that for some reason at one point just doesn't stop working, doesn't really want to work, but I still keep it with me because it's a comfort item, because it's a reminder of just positive stuff, and I find hard to let go of. Same thing with like my mom's shirt, for example. Like I don't wear my mom's shirt, but I keep it with me and I sleep with it every night, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what, because it's a huge comfort item, and I don't want to give it up and stuff. And I think that that's something that I should make very clear, is that comfort items can be anything. It can be a water bottle that you used. It can be an item of clothing that you always have with you, no matter what it is, like a sweatshirt or a hat or something. It can be a electronic device that you keep with you, that even if it stops working, even if you've transitioned to a different electronic device, like a different phone or a different iPad or a different thing, maybe you still keep the old one with you regardless of where you're going, regardless of what you're doing, because it is something that you find a lot of comfort in and stuff. And that's kind of just something I wanted to talk a little bit about, is that idea that comfort items don't necessarily have to be ones that particularly work. Sometimes we may keep something because it feels right, even if it's not working anymore, even if maybe we can't afford to replace it right now or whatever. It's still something that we have, because of that reason, because it just brings us a lot of comfort, because it just makes us feel good. And that's something like with me that I really do find true, is there are just things that I will oftentimes bring with me that are not necessarily things that I use, because they're not necessarily things that are quote unquote usable per se. They're just things that I have with me because they bring me comfort. Like, I don't know, I don't even know how else to describe that, but I don't know, is it just me, or does anybody else find anybody else who's on the autism spectrum, or who has a family member, like kids or teenagers or somebody in your life who is on the autism spectrum, who has an attachment to an item even if it no longer works, or has an attachment to like a device that maybe no longer is usable, but they still keep it with them everywhere they go because it brings them a sense of comfort in a world that is constantly revolving and changing. Or do you have, or do you have somebody in your life who's like autistic or whatever, and or who has just a comfort item, whether that's because of autism or other reason, and they have so many comfort items that they find it hard to choose just one. Or maybe you have someone in your life who has one main comfort item that goes everywhere with them, but then they have other comfort items that are in like rotation, kind of like how I am with me, where I have some comfort items that basically are there every day, all day, every day, no matter what. And those are the ones that I'm more reluctant to show, because those are ones that are very personal, and it feels weird to kind of show that there are things that I keep with me that are not necessarily things that really work per se anymore, but they're still in my bag constantly because I literally just feel like I can't let it go. And you guys know that I go through the process of decluttering all the time, so I'm always letting go of things. I'm always trying to change and let go of things and make my life less cluttered and less chaotic. But there's just things in my life that I just have a hard time letting go of. And I know that there are a couple of things in my life even now. Like I have an old iPad that doesn't work anymore, and I still keep it. It's in my closet, and I still have it, simply because it was an iPad that I used for a very long time, and I don't want to let go of it. That's the thing. It's like, for me, a lot of it is just like the electronic devices. I still have my very first ever phone that I ever used. I still have things like that I just don't let go of. And it's not because of any other reason. It's just, it's a comfort item. It was a comfort item for a long time, and I feel awkward letting go of it because it's like, I feel like it's such a comfort item to know that it's still there. But I don't know. Is that something that anybody else experiences, where it's like they keep something even if it's not something that is actively usable anymore, but that you still keep with you because it's a comfort item and you find comfort in having it there and knowing that it's there? Or is that just me? Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I don't know if I'm going to post this today or tomorrow. I don't know when this is going up. But I just wanted to kind of jump on here and kind of talk about this because it's been on my mind lately. So anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. As always, remember, if you're going through it, you'll get through it. And remember who you are. I love you guys. Bye.